beautiful people. I hope we're all good. I hope we're all well. So I was tapping into the energy, and the energy I've been tapping into is energy of someone who is feeling trapped, but it's not trapped in the sense of someone's trapped me, it's they've trapped themselves, and it's a trap of the mind, and it's a fear of being seen, and it's a fear of stepping out of the comfort zone, and it's a fear of sharing what you have within, sharing your gift, sharing your art, sharing your passion, your talent, whatever it is. And there's great grief around that. However, life's trying to go and push you to make that leap of faith and to get over the fear. So before I started my video, before I started the reading, I did a little meditation, and I kept hearing The Climb by Miley Cyrus. That song, if you've heard it. It's basically about life being an uphill journey, a battle. It's all about the journey, not the destination. And the lyrics that really, I went and looked at the lyrics, and the ones that jumped out at me the most, where I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there is a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. So for someone here stopping themselves doing what they want because of fear, okay? First card I pulled was sadness, and there's the little, like, what's that called? The wee thing that they put paint on, the wee wooden thing. It's not an easel, the easel's what you paint on, but there's obviously art here. There's something that's keeping you stuck in your passions, it's making you really sad. 5 has changed, something needs to change, okay? Then I pulled the Pilgrim, which is the perfect card to come out for the song The Climb, to be honest, because this is about a pilgrimage, it's about a journey, it is about the journey of life. There's a mountain here, okay, and then what came out with this was the Temple, and these cards go together really nicely. It actually mentions in the book that these two are very key, and when they both come out, it's like, if you're feeling drawn to go on a journey, a spiritual journey, then buy your tickets and head on that journey. So this is a very, like, this is the ultimate yes of, like, you need to make that leap of faith. Now I'm saying leap of faith because you got the Fool card, which is jumping right in, going completely all in, and just jumping into your passion. Before them I pulled the Eight of Swords, which is the being trapped by the mind. That's the fear, okay, that I was talking about earlier. And Ace of Wands, which is ignited passion. It is a creative, passionate beginning, and there's fear surrounding this, but she has been able to cut off these strings, and in this card she's jumping in. You can see the ribbon on her arms, the ribbons. She's broken free. She's going off. She's not quite jumped yet, but she's thinking about it, okay? So there's a seriousness surrounding you, and with these, the Pilgrim and the Temple, where there is motion, so this is the Pilgrim card, Where there's motion, there's freedom. There needs to be movement for there to be freedom from that restriction. There needs to be that thing within, or that thing that you want to share has to have somewhere to go. The energy has to go somewhere. If you keep things in, it's just going to stagnate. So sometimes with this card, when this card comes out, it tells us how responsibilities, social conventions and logistics can lull us into a sleep. The pilgrim can become veiled in the slumber of day to day. What is stopping you from opening the door? What obstacles are between you and that door? This is what came out. Overcoming obstacles. The goat. The goat is hard working, because the goat, to me, I always think of Capricorn, it's hard working. Overcoming obstacles. There's something you need to overcome. A barrier you need to break free of, and it's in the mind, okay? Because with this Hierophant card that's come out, this is an elevated spiritual teacher, but also it's tradition. It's an energy of tradition. So there is societal norms and the way society is that is maybe limiting your ability to break free, okay? Because the ideas of what should and shouldn't be, or the ideas of how we perform, say, spiritually, or we have our belief system, or we have our, because we've got temple here, which is very, very interesting, the alignment here. But with this card, it basically explains like how a temple and altar isn't what you conventionally think it is. It's like actually more deep than that, and anywhere can be your altar. And like, it's almost like, in my mind, I'm feeling like the restriction of having something in a church, or having it at an altar, or you're doing something in your room or in your home and it's not being shared with the world. That's what I was thinking here. It's like, see a Christian, or I'm just picking Christian randomly, but any religious person who say they might go to church every day, or they might pray every day, right? They might go to church every day, but they're not, say, being giving and doing giving things and being of service, or like going out on these journeys and learning in that way. It's like, we need to try and, in life, rather than going, these are the rules, it's like to actually learn in life, and to actually have a spiritual experience, to actually elevate ourselves, we have to go through hardship. We have to put ourselves out of our comfort zone. We have to go for what we want to do, okay? Because Six of Pentacles out, something's got to give. We can't just sit inside and keep this thing, keep ourselves from sharing it, because there is so much in giving and in sharing, okay? So we also got help from above, okay? You are, and we are all divinely guided. There is great comfort in knowing that even like when we go out our comfort zone, we are divinely guided. So if we're too scared to step out of that because of fear of something happening, we're not trusting in that divine purpose. But also, you've got the harp here and the moon. The moon is intuition. So like, you are feeling called to take an intuitive step and trust your intuition rather than succumbing to fear. When I was pulling these, I had my book, which is funny, Callings, Finding and Following the Authentic Life by Greg Lavoie, and I actually recommend getting this. This is very aligned with what I'm saying right now. But I opened it at this random page, and I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to continue with the cards, and then if I feel drawn, I'll pull more cards. So, leaving the birdcage. Okay. You need to leave the birdcage. You're in a birdcage, you're restricted, and you need to get out of it. That's what this reading is all about. And yeah, like you may be viewing your environment as this temple, but it's actually a birdcage, and it's trapping you from being free, okay, for spreading and then of spreading the wings. Okay, I'm gonna actually get back to reading this book properly. Leaving the birdcage. Your life mirrors what you put into it or withhold from it. When you're lazy, it's lazy, say the authors of Art and Fear. When you hold back, it holds back. When you hesitate, it stands there staring, hands in its pockets. But when you commit, it comes on like blazes. There are damages inherent in risk, but there is also recompense. I am not gonna lie, I never heard that word before. That's embarrassing. Though you may lose composure when you stand before a group and speak, you may also discover that you are, after all, someone who is capable of public speaking. If you're panic-stricken in the face of conflict between you and others, and yet rise to an occasion and confront someone, you may lose a few nights' sleep, but you may also lose your terror of it. You may even find that your very acuteness around conflict makes you the best sort of negotiator, that your wound is, like David Roche's, your gift. If you're afraid to test your wares in the marketplace, to send your delicate shoots of optimism out into the indifferent world, and if you do it anyway, you risk losing your innocence. But if you sell, you gain confidence and cannot be had in any other way. And if you discover that indeed you can partake in your callings, you can act in accordance with your deepest values and passions, you can have what you so desire, you are then faced with another task, having to revise your beliefs about what is and is not possible for yourself in the world. Not revising theories to fit the fact is not only bad science, but also skewed perception. An old joke in psychoanalytic circles illustrates this need to protect an established self-image against the blessings of growth. There's self-worth here that needs fixed. A man goes to a psychiatrist convinced that he's dead. Unable to help his client shake this delusion, the psychiatrist says, "You've heard, haven't you, that dead men don't bleed?" "Yes," the client replies. The psychiatrist then takes a pin and pokes the man in the arm, making him bleed. "What do you say now?" he asks. "Well, what do you know?" the client says. "Dead men do bleed." The desire to protect ourselves from change probably does more harm to the fluttering of human life and spirit than almost any other choice. But it is imperative to understand something about security. It's not secure. Everything about security is contrary to the central fact of existence. Life changes. By trying to shelter ourselves from change, we isolate ourselves from living. By avoiding risk, we may feel safe and secure, or at least experience a tolerable parody thereof, but we don't avoid the harangues of our conscience. It's almost axiomatic that the important risks we don't take now become the regrets we have later. In fact, I was told that if I'm not failing regularly, I'm living so far below my potential that I'm failing anyway. It's the fear of failure. When you're not failing, you're failing anyway. You are a failure if you're not failing, because perfection doesn't exist. The more time we spend locked in our studies with our slippers by the desk, our books arranged alphabetically on the shelves, and our pencils sharpened just the way we like them, the less time we have to frighten ourselves with the uncertainties of the road and the anxieties of adventure. We can comfort ourselves with the thought that if none of our fantasies come true, then at least neither will our fears. Hidden deep in the clockworks of the heart, though, is the beneficent fear of living itself, of living life, as Henry Miller once put it, without ever leaving the birdcage. And we need to touch that fear. Outside the cage, the sun is roaring with fission, arching through the blue sky. Wild winds flap the flags and fill the air with the sound of songs caught up in ecstasy and longing. There is life in its fleshy and toothsome grandeur, all the spill and stomp and shout of it, all the come and go of it, all of it on the one hand waiting for us to act, and on the other rushing down the hourglass. So yeah, there's too many boundaries at play here. 5 was change. There's change that needs to occur, and the fear of change is what bringing this sadness, but it's all in the mind. And once we take those little leaps, like 6 of Pentacles, when we give out that energy, we'll have fruit to bear. There'll be fruit from the tree. There will be a harvest that comes. The energy will come back. So I pulled the Jaguar, which is a fierce, brave energy. Also, the Jaguar is asking you to step out your comfort zone as well. I wrote this about the Jaguar. Explore beyond the walls that confine you. Go out of your routine. Push your limits. Investigate the unknown. Adventure into mystery. Because trust that the Jaguar spirit's got you. You have that part of yourself, okay? The Jaguar doesn't fear. There's a pearl here. It also looks like the moon. That's intuition, but it looked like a pearl, and I was thinking of like a pearl in the oyster. Okay, there's like a, because the gem came out again. They came out yesterday. There's a little gem in there through the darkness. There's a gem. Okay. And we had the comic. He came out, and when I pulled this, it was like, don't be scared of looking silly. Like, why are you scared of looking silly? And it's funny because I'm thinking of like, see, adult humans have party hats on. Like, humans are dead sweet. Humans do such silly wee things, right? And we're never, like, anyone is sitting and looking at someone going, oh my God, they're so embarrassed or whatever. These people that are like that are miserable as fuck. Like, you don't want to be like them. So you want to be on the side of being silly and having fun. And what better way than to play and to share what is within your creativity. I'm going to read from the book this one. Where is the book? My bed, I've just like, it's like boxes of cards, everything everywhere. But things don't need to be perfect. And this is the thing, this is actually very relevant to me because I'm obviously putting more readings up and I'm wanting to create more. But I was definitely stopping myself and have been stopping myself due to fear. The Joker, the Clown, the Fool. The Fool! The Fool! That's the Fool card. That's the Fool. Okay? The comic carries a remedy for all that ails this world. Amid the deepest pain and suffering, there's always the potential to lift up and out of the darkness through laughter. Though dismissed by some as lowbrow or unsophisticated, this archetype actually has a highly advanced mind. Some may use the word genius, as humour requires one to see the situation from afar rather than to be swept away by the drama. The comic sees and accepts the messiness of life. using it as material to be mixed and shaped into a potion to soothe the stressed and serious mind. The comic lightens us up. Thus, within the comic is usually the sage or the magician working healing magic upon any audience who will lend an ear. The comic may be the archetype that heals the deep division in our world, one pun at a time. Joy, jokes and okay, this is very important and very key, because this Hierophant looked damn serious. I don't like this Hierophant, to be honest. He looks serious and he's not a happy guy. There's no spirit coming out of there. That's just serious tradition, right? Joy, jokes and smiles are signs of a happy heart. Be wary of spiritual practices or teachers who leave the comic by the wayside. And that's it, right? We live in a society. See all these like organized religions that have been like created over however long. It's like or just culture in general. We've kind of like battered at the human spirit of it. We take life awfully seriously. Like, you must do it this way, and I seen a funny video. It was like it was like some stupid meme, and it was like someone falling into this hellfire, and it was like cavemen being thrown in hell because they didn't follow the steps of religion created by man however many years after their existence. And it was like so funny, because like there's that part of life where we have such a fear of like doing the right thing, but God, the universe, the divine spirit, that beautiful essence is not constricted to rules and regulations and this is the right way of things, because that's just not like, it's not organized like that. It just isn't. It can't be. It makes no sense. Healing, ancestral work, mother line, growing up. It's deep rooted in our held, unseen help, again, support, community. It's in sacred masculine, honor, protection. So there's masculine and feminine. Support. It goes to what we call the witch wound. It goes to what we just look at wounding in general, ancestral wounding and our DNA, just things that have been passed down culturally. Like, for example, I'm really into my tarot and oracle cards, doing energy work and stuff. My family my mum was came from a very Catholic traditional family, and so if you look, and then theirs was even more traditional than that. So it's like breaking those barriers, right? I'm seeing there's a woman here and she looks really upset. She's like lying there like, oh, I can't do it, I can't move. It's almost like the fears kind of debilitated her from moving or creating. Unseen help. Community. You may be in a community of people that are making you feel trapped, so like moving the environment may be beneficial and helpful for you, and stepping in and surrounding yourself with new people who are more supportive will help you to be more rooted and to shine yourself more. This just reminds me of Pocahontas, the hummingbird. And in Pocahontas, the little hummingbird is a little shit. he's a little shit at first. Like, he doesn't like John Smith. And to be fair, like, in it, it's like, you've got Pocahontas, John Smith. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you've got, like, the Western man who has tools and his weapons, and he's coming over to this land and stealing land, trying to mine for gold. But John Smith's actually, like, got a really good spirit, really nice soul. But he comes from a more, like, the modern colonizer background. And then you've obviously got Pocahontas, who comes from the native, connected to earth, ancient practices, right? And it's this duality. So the hummingbird doesn't like him at first and is a bit protective of Pocahontas, and it's like eventually he comes around. But the reason I'm thinking of this is, like, instantly we assume when we're going against convention, or we are standing out from the crowd, we might not get on with the other person if they're very different from us. But actually, if we give them a chance, they could prove us wrong. Don't know why that's coming through. I'm gonna read the hummingbird. Like, we might think we're gonna get judged and ridiculed for our work, but actually people might really love it, and the people you might not really expect at all will love it. Yeah, this is cute though. The buzzing you feel is the sound of your hummingbird wings preparing you to say yes to a new adventure. This is not the time to linger on what has gone wrong, but to trust in the rightness of the moment and take bold action. Trust that success is assured, even if you must face tests and challenges to reach your destination. Know that all will be well, because the all is in the small. Action, taking action, taking action. Okay, interesting. No, these aren't right. I'm gonna get more cards, I think, because none of the cards here feel like the right ones. Are these? Entrapment. You're feeling, yeah, trapped. Procrastination, laziness, where you're placing your energy is very important. So where our attention flows, our energy goes. And the reason I'm saying that is because with the temple, you've got entrapment. She's lying there in her bed, she's lazy, she's just like, what's the word? Rotting, essentially bed rotting. You could be so anxious and kind of stalling and so anxious and worried about this thing that you really want to do, that you're the fear of your talents, that bear with, that you're like frozen. You're frozen. You don't want to get up, right? But with the temple card, when we think of the temple, we often envision an architectural structure in a far-off land. We're quick to distance ourselves from the sacred, assuming we must expend much effort in order to arrive there. Yet, the temple is a universal and omnipresent energy, accessible in the highest and lowest, richest and poorest of places. Visiting the temple might be as simple as stepping into the dappled light of the forest, slowly and sensuously kissing a lover, or closing your eyes to travel inward. This card is a call to re-examine what you pay homage to and what you reject. What do you spend your time worshipping? Your phone, money, material goods. What barriers do you draw between yourself and the sacred? Perhaps there's room on your altar for something new, something surprising. Offer it to the heavens. So if we're taking our attention and our energy as a relationship with the divine, okay? Any of that energy, so if you're doom scrolling too much, if you're on your phone all the time, or if you're watching utter shite, that's you devoting your energy. Or being in bed rotting, you're devoting your energy to that, because your energy is so potent, so powerful and fertile. So step out of that, like get out of your usual routine. There's something in your routine that's not helping you. You need to get out of that. Okay, firstly, beauty. There's peacock feathers here, which is confidence. But also I'm saying, like, beauty is within. So if you're fearing how people will look at you and if they'll think, your beauty will shine through when you are aligning with your truth, when you're aligning with your passion, with your purpose, being creative, all of these things. When you're stepping out into your life and you're enjoying it and you're just living in the moment and you're enjoying the adventure, you're going on the climb, you're going through the hardships, you're going through the journey. But if you're just stagnant, you're stopped, you're scared, you're completely blocking off your energy. You might be in a sense of fear that you maybe don't look a certain, or you're scared of how you're going to look or what you look like. And it's like, that's your soul that is going to shine through. It's your soul that's wanting to shine through. It's not about discover your life purpose. There you go. We live in a culture, it's very like what we look like, how we dress, how we talk, what we need to fit this mold, this image. But actually it's the energy within that, it's the journey and experiences, it's that's the beauty. 29 is my favourite number. What's your purpose? Stand up and show it. There's like these images of these women around this spirit. It's like it's a channel for them as well, like musicians or art or writing. It's a channel for divine energy. It's like where you're infusing whatever that is. You're dancing, you're guided and helped. Okay, so get into that flow. Allow yourself to be creative. And then I think that's it. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I was actually going to be like, I don't think I have anything else to say other than don't be scared, be brave. And then I pulled that card, courage. So there's something that you want to do that you're too scared. So do it. Have courage. Thank you for watching. Sending you lots of love. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon, morning, evening, night whenever you're watching this. And remember to take action. Answer the call. Judgment. Because you don't want to get to that day of judgment, the end of your life, and regret not stepping out of your comfort zone, regretting not doing that thing that was within you all this time. So yeah, thanks for watching.